De-Haryor Global Services Limited is an indigenous company. We are into services and engineering infrastructural development. Our problem is not the money. The money is there. It is not that we don't have quality hand to go on any project. Our problem is the ability to be able to put the right peg in the right hole. I've met roadblock, had sleepless nights for months. The only thing I did not do is to cry. For us to get Nigeria to our desired level, we need the young minds in the society to do it.
Hello viewers, it's glad to know you're watching your program. It is Economic Insights and I'm your host, Paul Kingsley. Now, in continuation with the ongoing report we are doing on infrastructure developments in Nigeria, today we are taking a topical look at the various issues affecting the development of infrastructure. Joining us is a man who is contributing in no small way to development of the infrastructure, and they are focused on the power sector. Like I said, they are doing so well in the power sector when it comes to metering, mechanical and electrical engineering, even construction work also. They are providing solutions to the power sector. Is with us on the program to give us their own contribution to the development of the power sector. I'm talking of no other person than the Managing Director, CEO of De-Haryor Global Services Limited, is Engineer Ashade Bosun. Sit back, relax. It's promised to be an interesting conversation. I'll be back after this time out.
If you're looking for a qualified metering servicing company, search no further, for the Harvor Your Global Services Limited got you covered. The company has distinguished itself to become one of the leading indigenous companies in Nigeria, providing qualitative, timely, and cost-effective services in the power sector. The company was founded in 2009 with the aim of delivering services in sales of electrical meters, maintenance, installation of mechanical and electrical gadgets. Engineer Ashade Bosun is the Managing Director, CEO.
De-Haryor Global Services Limited is an indigenous company and duly registered in 2009. And basically, we are into services and engineering infrastructural development. And ever since then, we've been able to handle a couple of projects, such as building construction, electrical infrastructure, and at the moment, we are into metering because we felt there is a huge gap in the metering industry. So we came on board and we decided to also participate in that in order to help reduce the metering gap. And we were duly licensed by NEC as an importer of electricity meters, also an installer. And not too long ago, we got licensed as well as one of the MAPs. MAP is meter asset provider, just in order to ensure that at least we are able to cover as much as we can in the area of metering services in Nigeria. I'm an engineer and I studied engineering in school, and ever since then I started my career in Journal Engineering under the tutelage of one of my great boss, Engineer Adebowale Ayorinde. And ever since then, you know, I started from the scratch with them, because then we used to go to the field to go and install generators. We go for inspections and stuff like that. We go as far as we cover almost every part of Nigeria. So that was where I got the drive that, okay, it's a good thing for me to be an engineer, aside from the fact that I read engineering in school. So in 2008, I moved into Abuja from Lagos. And then when I got to Abuja, I noticed that there are a lot of lapses in the area of infrastructure, the quality of services that we have on ground. So that was what gave us the drive to start this company, in order for us to be able to contribute our own quota into the system as well. And that we've been doing well ever since we started.
The Harvor Your Global Services Limited is highly equipped with young, dynamic management and technical team with years of corporate and field experience to undertake and execute any given task in its field of endeavors.
Well, we handled a couple of projects, but the one that I'm really proud of is the one we just concluded now, metering of defense intelligence agencies, all their quotas within the FCT. You know, basically before now, most discos or most metering company find it difficult in getting into paramilitary or military facilities to meter. And quite surprisingly, by the help of God, we were able to talk to them, and they took us on board, and we just completed deployment of meters into their quarters and their headquarters to, I think it's about almost 500 pieces. And at the moment, we are going on another project. And basically, in order for us to be able to cover as much as we wanted, so we try to improve in the area of vending, because what we do, we deploy meters and we also vend, because we also serve as a collection agent to the discos. So we also sell energy to people who subscribe to our our services. So as such, we have to deploy people to be there 24/7 in order to enable whoever wants to buy power at any point in time to be able to have access to it. But at the moment, we're going to launch another one. Maybe we will invite you then. We're going to launch another one by 15th of this month, hopefully, in a situation whereby people will be able to buy energy at their convenience on our mobile app. So that is what we're doing at the moment. Basically, a lot of people go to China, and like I said, I'm based in the UK. I once lived in the UK. I still have my family back in the UK. And I believe that when you produce something for European standard, it is actually of good quality. Because the MAP scheme now in Nigeria is that when you deploy a meter somewhere, you are going to be responsible for the replacement of such meter in case it goes bad or something happens to the meter. So in such a way, I try to patronize Turkey, because I believe, they are the, should I say, the industry for the European Union. So I go there, and what we have here are equally the same metering system that you have in the UK, in Germany, and the likes of other European countries. So what we do, we don't produce here. All we just do is that the running behind it, should I say, the software solutions as to how it works are being generated from here by our brains, and we just send it to them that this is what we want, this is how we want this to work, and this is how we want this to work. That is the only thing we put in. But for the hardware part of it, is being produced in Turkey, and we bring it into Nigeria. And also we are working towards, we're supposed to have started by this first quarter of 2019 to have our own assembling plant here, but due to one reason or the other, it's been delayed. So we are looking at the last quarter of 2019. We're going to have our own assembling plant in Nigeria as well, where we can assemble all those parts here for onward delivery to our clients. We are faced with so many challenges, but I'm going to just mention few, which is basically the new industry we have now, that is the metering. You see people on TV, we want prepaid meters, we want this, we want that. It goes beyond that. Because what we have experienced as a first-hand experience is that a lot of people doesn't want prepaid meter. Don't let us just shy away from telling the truth. Basically, because when they look at it, probably the discos, because they weren't having meters, they were, being given that's what they call it estimated billings. And a lot of them are very comfortable with it. People, telling you they prefer to go on estimated billings because the reality has really set in on them. What we also do in order for us to prove our point is just by engaging them. We do what we call load survey, because we realize that someone is having an inverter, and not knowing to them inverter is equally an additional load, on whatever it is that you have. But all those things are not being considered by the discos when they are giving estimated billings. So in an area where someone is consuming as much as 10,000 naira worth of energy, but you are giving that person an estimated bills of 2,000, 3,000, 5,000. So those are really the challenges that we've been faced with in the past. But to an extent, we've been able to manage it well. And in Abuja, as we speak, a lot of people are subscribing to our services. So we give glory to God.
With tens of millions of customers who use electricity in Nigeria not metered, dissenting voices are daily soaring and calling on the electricity distribution companies to accelerate measures to ensure that the issues of estimated bills end as soon as possible. The need to place all customers on prepaid meters in order to get them to only pay for what they consume has been restated on different occasions across Nigeria. Many have argued that the only way to be fair to all consumers is to put in place a standard measurement to check what is consumed against what is billed.
Okay, basically, what I'm going to set an example. When you go abroad, you go abroad regularly, and you realize that a lot of people, even Nigerians abroad, they know how to manage energy very well. In a situation whereby you live in a house and during the daylight there is no need for you to put on your lights. I mean, a room where you are not occupying, I don't see any reason why the AC in such a room should be on, issues like that. But basically, like I said earlier, we have been able to, we used to carry out some level of load survey. When we have such customers who are protesting, we go as much as helping them to do what we call load survey. When we do load survey, we will advise them on how to cut energy. When you are not somewhere, you don't need to have your energy on. If you drive around, let's say Abuja for example, you see that some houses that are not occupied during the day, you see the street lights, the security lights, surrounding lights being put on, and there is no need for such, because you are not available. It is daylight, you don't need such. So you should be able to reduce load for as much as you can. When you are not in a room, switch off your appliances. When you are not around, let it be off. We are also working on something to incorporate into the meter, in the situation whereby we help you to time it. During the daylight, your meter switch off some of your appliances yourself automatically, and then when you are back, it comes up on its own. We are working on that as well, so that at least that will help. They will see that we are really helping, in as much as they believe that we are taking money from them. Let it be also seen that yes, these people are really helping us to cut cost.
According to industry experts in the energy sector, the continuous electricity load rejection by distribution companies, that is the DISCOs, could worsen the epileptic power supply and cause more economic loss to the country.
You see, I like to speak on facts when I have a first-hand information. I've heard of that. I'm not going to deny it, that DISCOs are rejecting energy, but I have not really seen it. I've only heard about it in the news, but I can't prove it. But basically, if it is so, I believe there must be a reason to that. Maybe because I believe, every energy generated is being paid for. And just like I said, DISCOs, GENCOs, or NESI, they are making huge loss. Because, see, a lot of people believe that if I meter, it reduces my revenue. But that's not the case. If you meter, it also increases your revenue. But the problem is that people think with estimated bill. I just gave an example during the course of this discussion that I've witnessed it, as in I have a first-hand information on that, where someone will tell you that even under estimated billings, my payment every month is 2,000 naira. But since I have this your meter, I'm being charged. What I consume now is 5,000, 10,000 naira. But when you engage them in load survey, you realize that yes, sir, you are actually paying for what you are using. So I think that could be attributed to probably inability of getting payments for what you are sending out. And in the area of DISCO, they want to also manage cost because they want to be able to have what they can pay for. I would just want to say that, but I have not witnessed it, and I just heard about it. But I don't think, any right thinking man will want to see something that will better their services and will want to turn it down. But just for me to just answer you in that regard, I want to see it as, okay, probably because of payments, being able to pay for what they are taking. So they might want to cut their cost. So let's see it that way. That is supervision. As I speak with you, I am a graduate of Project Management College in United Kingdom, And also, I am a member of a Chartered Institute of Project Management in Nigeria, an institution that we just launched in, I think it was December, and it's been backed up by law of Nigeria. What our drive, or what really is our primary view in that institute, is just to ensure that we put an end to all these challenges that we are faced with in delivering projects. You know, project has to be timely and also of good quality. So that is what we're trying to do there. And you know, that's it boils down to the fact that there is no proper supervision. I see no reason why it will just be this December that we'll have such an institution in place to manage and supervise projects. So we believe we are getting there. Yes, you are very correct. You know, what they do in that regard is just for them to resort to what we will call cheap labors. Because what they do is to have their men, you know, be at the end of affairs to supervise the laborers who are on the job, which we do as Nigerians as well. Let me give you an example. There is a building here in Nigeria, Abuja here, where we wanted to deploy our meters, and they have their panels imported from Indians, and they have an Indian guy on ground who is monitoring people that are on the job. You know, when we met with them and they introduced the gentleman to us, we were about to install, and he said, no, you don't do this, you don't do that. You know, at first, you know, when you get into another man's property, you have to follow their rules and regulations. So at the long run, I now realized that his belief was that we may not be able to do it right. So now one of the panel has a fault, and they were calling Indian to send some spare parts to them for them to be able to do it. And I look at the guy, I said, the project manager, the Indian guy, said, come, what do you take us for in Nigeria? Why do you want to do this? How much will it cost you to do this? Said, no, they prefer to do it because we seem not to be able to do it. I said, oh, really? Can you give me just 2 days? I'll write a letter to you. If what I'm going to do on this panel happens to do more damage to what you're trying to repair, I'll bear the cost. And if I'm able to resolve it, then you pay me double. You pay me whatever cost that you're going to get it from me. I said, okay. We wrote a letter to him, and right in front of him, I sent one of my guys to Lagos, and they were able to get his spare parts. Less than 24 hours, we were able to fix the problem. You can see what I'm talking about. It is not that we don't have quality hand to go on any project. One thing I'm happy about this regime of President Muhammadu Buhari is the fact that they are trying as much as possible to give opportunities to the indigenous engineers and technocrats. Yes, that's a good one, and that is a good move in the right direction, because we have been tagged as unprofessional for too long. But I think it is now time for us to be able to display our quality of services that we can, you know, render to the larger society. Procurement Act is a good one. Is a good system that is being put in place, but are we following it up? Are we doing it the right way? The answer is no. No, in the sense that people believe that it doesn't work like that in this part. Though everywhere you use what you have or who you know to get what you want, but there means that you must, like myself, as I'm seated here, I'm being known in the industry now as a power solution provider, meter service provider. So if I want to get to somewhere in order to render such services to them, and I'm trying to speak with one person that I know in the system, it's not a bad idea. But when somebody who doesn't even have a technical know-how to do the job is now being the one pushing for the job, and eventually you are there as somebody who is very, vast in that area, and you are being considered as somebody who could not even handle it, and the other person gets it. I've witnessed something in Nigeria here where I bidded for a job, someone else got the job, and I've been called upon to work for the person. I said, no, I can do it. I cannot do it. But if you want me to do it, you as a firm who's supposed to have awarded this contract to me, and you are awarding it to this gentleman, you write to me telling me that I should work with him based on my own price that I submitted to you. You understand what I'm saying? That project now has not been completed. So we have issues like that. If anyone is telling you that the Procurement Act is working, my brother, no, it's not working. We are just a system that has been put in place for you to have documents. You know, they will tell you before you can bid for a job, you need to be registered with, is it BPP? Yeah. I believe that's just what they are there for, just to be sure that we have an office in this manner in place. Maybe, and maybe not, but maybe this government of the day can now address that issue. Because when I heard that, you know, there is a policy now that before you can give a job to a foreigner, you must be sure to prove beyond reasonable doubt that the Nigerian system, the Nigerian companies here cannot handle such projects. That is why you are giving it out. What I would say, like in my office here, if you look at it, I told my HR, I said, I don't want people who have 2 years experience, 3 years experience to come and join me here. I want to raise young minds. If you look at my office here, they are basically youth corper and someone that just finished service. Why am I doing it that way? I believe they are vast. They still have time to learn and they can, you know, adapt to any situation. It's not as if maybe I'm paying them poorly. I pay my youth corper here 40,000 naira. And tell me which ministry in Abuja that pays 40,000 naira. You should raise them young. That's what I'm trying to do. So what I would tell an average Nigerian young mind is that they should not lose focus. They should not lose focus. To be honest with you, I just mentioned to you, it seems as if when I started, everything was just going the way it was planned. No, I've met roadblock. I've had to, you know, had a sleepless nights for months. I've had to, you know, the only thing I did not do is to cry because I know it's something that I can push. I have someone in AEDC who told me, you know, you don't get tired of this. You need to keep pushing. And I kept pushing before God says, yes, it is your time. So what I will say to them, one, not to lose focus. Secondly, whatever it is that they are doing, I think they are doing it right. They should keep pushing. And thirdly, this might sound somehow. Let me be very honest with you. For us to get Nigeria to our desired level, we need the young minds in the society to do it. I've been there. I know what it looks like, because we will be the one to think in the right direction and be able to provide solutions to whatever problems that we have. So that is it. My name is Ashade Olatunbosun, and I'm from Ogun State, Abeokuta North Local Government to be precise. And I'm a graduate of mechanical engineering. And like I said, I started my career with Jonote Engineering. After that, I went to acquire more knowledge in Lautech before I moved to the UK, where I also study project management from Project Management College in London. Then at the moment I'm studying engineering management services, and I'm married and with 4 kids, 1 boy and 3 girls. And like I said, I have my family right back in the UK, while I'm here trying to sort things out. So it's just about that.
Well, this is where time will permit us. I must say a very big thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Contribution on the program.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Support. Thank you so much. God
Thank
bless
you.
you, sir.
Thank you very much.
God bless you.
Thank you. I'm grateful.
Right.